Hello everybody, this is Jane Hamilton Parker, psychic medium. Sorry I haven't been on here very often, but unfortunately my life is so busy and hectic. Anyway, today I thought I would talk about near-death experiences. This is when people at some stage in their life, they might have a cardiac arrest, or they might have been in an accident and they actually feel themselves coming out of their body and looking down on themselves. And this has happened to many people, even famous people. I made a few notes and done some research on it, but near-death experience is when you actually feel that you're going through a tunnel of light and you're meeting a loved one or somebody there that you can connect with. And even children experience this as well, and they come back with fascinating stories, what's happened to them. And children don't lie because their thoughts and their energies are quite pure. It's even been known children on an operating table actually coming out their body, and they can quote exactly under general anaesthetic when they come round what happened to them and what it was like in the spirit world and who came to meet them. And told them to come back, and they would even talk about the doctor's conversations, and there's no way they could have done that. So I'm just going to quote some of these that I've seen. So some survivors have positive memories, seeing a light, as I said, and a tunnel, and they get a feeling of tremendous tranquility, love and peace. And they have a feeling of separation and detachment from the loved ones on the earth plane in the physical world. So, and they recognise, some of them recognise they actually have come out of their body. For example, people that have been in road accidents have actually stood by the body and wondering what they're doing, looking at their physical form, and they're over here. And it's like they've still got their consciousness, and suddenly they go back into their body and they have a feeling of recognition, everything around them, and the perceptions are quite heightened. Now, Madonna was one that had out-of-body experience. She got a bacteria infection and she was rushed into intensive care. And Sharon Stone, the film star Sharon Stone, we can recognise her in Fatal Attraction. She actually had a stroke in 2021 and she came out of her body, and luckily she came back again. Also Jane Seymour, another film. Do you remember Jane Seymour in the Bond films? Who read the tarot cards? She had a reaction to something she had eaten and went in an anaphylactic shock. Now Elizabeth Taylor, a lovely famous lady, she fell ill with pneumonia and she underwent in intensive care. She had to go into afterwards in surgery, and she was pronounced dead for 5 minutes, dead, because they were trying to do a cardiac arrest on her and everything. And she actually saw her late husband, which was Michael Todd, and he told her it wasn't her time to go back. And you can imagine this is a man that she's deeply in love with, and tragically he died, and he told her to go back, and he said, "Fight, Elizabeth, fight." And next thing we knew, she was in intensive care, and she explained what it was like on the other side and how beautiful it was, that she didn't feel angry, didn't feel lost. She felt this tremendous love, and as if she was going back home. And then she saw her loved one there in front of her, and she had grieved for him for many years and she couldn't understand why he was telling her to go back. She was in this beautiful surrounding, this beautiful place of light, so peaceful. That was like falling in love, and there was nothing like it on the earth, that kind of feeling. Anyway, I've had lots of people that have told me that they've actually come out of their body, and they really didn't want to come back. They really didn't want to come back. But not everything's heaven and light, you know, because some people, they've had experiences where they've gone to a dark place and they've seen images of horrible, like nightmare, dark faces that they felt. They were frightened. People said, is that hell or anything? Well, we don't know all the answers to the universe, do we? But it might be sometimes what people have done on the earth, and they might carry these karmic, if you like, fears and things like this, you know. I know, I think it's in March, I don't know if it's March the 6th, but I know we've got Shivarati, which is a lovely thing, a Hindu thing where everybody dances and celebration. It brings that energy up, and that's like a feeling, I should imagine, that, you know, when you come out of your body, you're so happy to see loved ones and that, and nothing really matters in the earthly life, but it's the ones that are left behind. Now, scientists are trying to say it's the neurons in your brain and everything, and it's like delusional, and it's one way like the body shuts down. That's nonsense, because how can people prove it? You know, they can prove that what they saw was very real, and like children can talk about long deceased people that they never even know, and then a scientist would look back and say, oh yes, but they've heard the grandparents and that talk about that person and everything. And if you as a child of 6 years old, would you really be taking all that in? And the thing is, all these experiences and tests in life are very real, and it's like God gives us a second chance and sends us back to the earth. And it's like some people really don't want to come back because they feel they've gone back on that heavenly vibration and that. So, you know, all these things are mapped out for us. So health is very important. Good actions are very important. And it's, you know, sometimes I have people that come to me for readings and they've got health issues and they have a great fear of dying. And I feel in this life you've got to be a bit fearless. Don't concentrate on negative thoughts, just be very positive. Okay, if you've got high blood pressure or cholesterol, know your limitations, because sometimes it's not just the lifestyle, it's stress, the people causing stress. And lots of people have a fear that they're going to have a stroke and things like this. And I think don't focus on that, because all these people that have had out-of-body experiences, near-death experiences, it's changed their life. As they've come back to the earth, they want to reform, they want to do better, they want to help other people, charitable things and do good things. And it changes their life, because a lot of people don't really think about dying. They don't really think every day is a blessing. They really sort of, oh, I'm not worried. If I'm dead, I won't know anything about it. But it's not till you have a profound experience of out of body or a near-death experience, it changes your life. I believe Ozzy Osbourne had one when he had his accident on a bike. I mean, that man is definitely a man with 9 lives. Quite a character, and has brought a lot of joy through his music to people, and has a family that loves him. But, you know, it's obviously hasn't been his time, because he's still here, and a remarkable man that has a remarkable family that look after him. But, you know, he's like a cat with 9 lives. And there's many people that go through all these different things, and that you don't have to be religious really for that to be experienced. You just have to live your life. And as I say, life is very precious. But when you have psychologists, scientists and people like this think it's a load of nonsense and everything like this, you know, it's not till you've had that experience yourself, then I think you can really be an expert on it. Because, you know, you're just studying biology and about the brains, the cortex and the pineal gland and everything. And the thing is, people, especially children, have these real experiences, and it does transform their life. There's like children, say a child that's got cancer and has a near-death experience and goes through not just a tunnel of light, but can hear a heavenly voice that's calling them over, and they might see their great grandparents, and suddenly there might be a healing energy that's sending them back, and suddenly you find that that child, for whatever reason, suddenly recovers. You might think they're in remission and suddenly gets better. So all these experiences are very, very real. And I would say that sometimes, people are very blessed to see these things and that. So, people at the moment are all into this technology, artificial intelligence and everything. Maybe we will get the answers one day in the 21st century, who knows? But to have an experience like that is very real, and it does change people's life, because some people I've met have said, I heard a voice calling me, and a voice I recognised, but I couldn't see anybody. But I went through these corridors and it was quite bright, a very bright light. And there I saw people I recognised that were standing there, and they looked so joyous and smiling. And I was so happy to see them. And then suddenly, my body was going at such a speed. I was going backwards very slowly and quickly. I went through those doors again, and I felt my body woke up with a jerk, and I wondered where I was and my surroundings. And then I saw a doctor's face over me like that, and them smiling, and they said I had flatlined. Now, to actually have those experiences, people might say, oh, they're getting hallucinations, I don't believe that for one moment. And I think the mind is a very powerful thing, the brain's a very powerful thing, and I feel that the body's a very powerful thing, that these things happen. And it's like, if people, it's like alcoholic people, they might have, nearly died, come out of their body, and suddenly they've seen all these wonderful things in the spirit realm, and they've transformed their life by giving up drink, as an alcoholic is a disease, and then helping others because they've been through that great understanding of knowledge and karmic action. So all these things are done for a reason. Now, sometimes you get people in road accidents, they're at the wrong place at the right time through no fault of their own, and suddenly they might have a car crash, and suddenly they feel their inner soul or their body go through the crown chakra, and suddenly they can see themselves, and they're in a state of, I wouldn't say non-belief, but in a state, where am I? And then suddenly somebody, might be a first response that's come to them, and suddenly they go back into the body. It's like God gives you a second chance, if you like. But it happens in many things. I do wonder, do animals have the same? Now, that's interesting, isn't it? Do animals have the same near-death experience? Because animals are very, with a sixth sense, knowing. I mean, if you know, like rabbits, for instance, they know when death is near, because they'll go in a corner in the garden to be left alone, to be peaceful and to die. And a dog knows. All the animal kingdom know when the time is in. But I do wonder, that some animals, you put them on the vet's table, and they're on the way out and the vet, and suddenly they seem to come back. So it makes you wonder with nature. I mean, I think there's lots of things we can't quite get our head around, and I quite agree with some quantum physics and things, what's to do with spirituality, neurons, protons and everything. And one day people will crack it. And it's wonderful to know that, when you do eventually, your time comes, like to us all, that we live our vibration behind, we live our blueprint, how we lived in this life. And as we retain that energy, and then we do go over into a really wonderful place, because in the Bible it states, in my mansion there's many mansions. So it must be that it's vast. You're just so lucky if you do get a message from the spirit world. You don't know how blessed you are, because they have to move mountains and everything. And it is frightening for people when you're watching people dying, for example, and suddenly they're looking up because they can get a death vision, if you like, that loved one. Sometimes people see angels, sometimes people see loved ones, or they might see a beloved pet, and they look so peaceful and bliss, and it's a wonderful thing. It's nothing you could buy. And as they make their journey or transition over to the spirit world, You just want them to go peacefully. It's like there's many people that have cancer and they're in remission and that, and it's like they try eating healthy, meditation, and mindfulness, and doing all these herbal things and everything like that, like our king does at the moment. So it's not a bad thing to do. And I think what we must do is embrace life, live life. Life's for living. It's not for robbing. It's not for keeping up with the Joneses. It's not that I'm better than you. It's not about I'm a celebrity and look how rich I am and look at the designer clothes. That's not what life is. Life is for sharing and being happy and helping others. But it doesn't mean you're a walkover. But I wonder if any of you have had a near-death experience and you'd like to share it with me on this video. I'd be very interested what you've actually seen, because there's some people that have seen beautiful things, some people have seen horrible things. And as I say, people sort of think, oh, you know, I don't want to go in that place again. It's like the Death Reaper came for me. They were like monsters and that, and I was so afraid. Is something cursed me or that? No, everybody is different things. It might be a past life clearing and that. There's nothing to hurt you. It's not the dead you have to worry about. It's the living. And we know that, don't we? And, you know, even kings, queens, aristocratic people, celebrities, they're all going to the same place. It doesn't make them anything special because they've got titles here, you know. So we go all to the halls of learning and different things. It depends what we've done here. So I think those people personally that have had a near-death experience have been very privileged that they've been sent back, and it might be because it's lessons and they're going to help many others here and they've learned from it. I hope they have. But you know, I think as we grow older, we grow with wisdom. Every day is a blessing. The years just go quickly, don't they? And it's better to be happy. If you can be happy, you don't have to have lots of money to be happy. You can go for a walk. You can communicate with people here on the earth. Just smiling at one person makes them feel good. You know, at the moment, the planet, Mother Earth is, as I always say, is bleeding and crying at the moment. It's like all about power, what we can have. If the whole world became spiritual, kinder, loving, and reaching out, helping those, it'd be a better world, wouldn't it? But have no fear, because a near-death experience has happened to many, many people. I mean, it's like visions, isn't it? Abraham Lincoln, he had a vision that he was going to be shot. He picked that up and that happened. And if we go back in history, in time, because we in the UK do have a lot of history, even though people's trying to wipe it out. You can't wipe out history, my dears, definitely not. But we've had some remarkable people that have had visions. Joan of Arc, one. Now they would say that she was probably schizophrenic, or she was hearing voices and she's delusional or all that, but she might have been hearing spirit voices that were guiding her and helping her. And everybody goes through life with different experiences. I mean, we're very blessed at the moment. We've got good healers in this world. We've got good mediums. We've got good seers and good psychics. But the good ones I'm talking about, not the ones that's just there fleecing you for money and putting high markups and things. If you're fair in life and fair with people, then fair things will happen to you. And good people do good things. There's still good people. But anyway, I'm going to let you think about that. Near-death experiences. Have you had a near-death experience? Have you feel very blessed that you're still here? Because I definitely believe in angels and guardian angels and doorkeepers. I definitely believe that we do have people watching us to look after us and protect us. You know, through dark forces, there's always good forces as well. So it's a bit like the earth, the yin and the yang at the moment. So do your very, very best while you're here, because every action that you do on God's earth is accountable for. So do good things, and enjoy your life. I'm going to go now. I'm going to enjoy my life and have a nice cup of tea before my gentleman comes for a reading. He comes once a year. He's a Sai Baba devotee. So anyway, do join us every Friday at 7 p.m. on the Craig and Jane Hamilton Parker show. It is recorded live from Winchester. Lots of patrons on there. Craig and I cannot answer everybody's questions because Matt, who's in the control room, he does all those live feeds that come through. So we'll be doing live clairvoyance from spirit, and it's nothing new because remember, Craig and I have been doing this 50 years or more. So it'll be live, going out live. It'll go out to America, Mexico, Seychelles, all over the world, and we're only on air for an hour. So do join us. I'm looking forward to communicating with you all, and so is the spirit world. God bless you all, and do take care of yourselves.